Hello everyone, here are the latest market news on September the 24th, 2019. Trump attempts to get rid of impeachment. U.S. President Donald Trump has attempted to shrug off demands for his impeachment over the allegation that he tried to pressure a foreign government to hurt his leading rival in next year's presidential election. According to the report of U.S. intelligence community whistleblower, Trump traveled to the United Nations in New York and asked Ukrainian's President Volodymyr Zelenskiy to investigate Joe Biden, the frontrunner for the Democratic nomination in 2020. Some Democrats said the allegation was a tipping point in the dilemma over whether to begin impeachment proceedings. Asked on Monday if he took the threat seriously, the president replied, "Not at all seriously." Later, Trump lashed out at the media. He said, "Joe Biden and his son are corrupt, but the fake news doesn't want to report it because they're Democrats." Global shares rise on expected trade talks. Global shares climbed on Tuesday after U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin confirmed that U.S.-China trade talks will resume next month. However, sustained concerns about slowing global growth reduced the overall appetite for riskier assets. In the United States, stock futures rose 0.38% after comments from Mnuchin about continuation of U.S.-China trade talks next week. Later, he said that the negotiations will take place in 2 weeks. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan surged 0.1%, led by 0.6% gains in mainland Chinese shares after the vice head of China's state planner said Beijing will take action to stabilize growth. In turn, Japan's index Nikkei increased 0.2% after a market holiday on Monday. Meanwhile, European shares also rose, with pan-European Euro Stoxx 50 futures added 0.26%. German DAX futures were 0.24% higher and FTSE futures inched up 0.33%. AB InBev launches the second biggest IPO this year. The Asia-Pacific unit of Anheuser-Busch InBev NV raised about $5 billion during its IPO in Hong Kong as investors baked deals in its offering value despite the city being hit by anti-government protests. The IPO of the unit of AB InBev, the world's largest brewer, is the second biggest globally so far this year, trailing only the $8.1 billion public offering of Uber Technologies Inc. in May, data from Refinitiv showed. AB InBev had cancelled a plan for a bigger initial public offering of the unit in July that could have raised as much as $9.8 billion, citing several factors including the prevailing market conditions. Samson Display to upgrade South Korean LCD plant. Samson Display plans to spend 13 trillion won, $11 billion, to upgrade a South Korean liquid crystal display plant to produce more advanced screens. Yonhap News Agency reported on Tuesday. Earlier, Naga Samson Display said it would look into suspending one of its South Korean LCD producing lines due to country's panel makers have been struggling to cope amid slower LCD demand for TV and smartphones, as well as rising competition from Chinese rivals and a shift by major clients to organic light-emitting diode panels. The unit of Samsung Electronics Co. Ltd. and one of the main Apple Inc. suppliers will announce the investment next month.